man's got fire and a wild hot take. Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Hey, laughing loud when your team goes down. Hey, Straub boys run this sports town. Show. This is the Straub Bros Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. Hey, college game day and Thursday night. Hey, rivals fall and the banter flies. Hey, we bleed our teams till the day we die.
Welcome, everybody, once again to the Straub Bro Sports Show. Big Bro tapping in, as always, with Little Bro. Little Bro, how we living, how we doing, how we feeling?
We're doing good. Wish it was a little warmer, but I'll take it. And I just want to say, it was not me that made us late today. Big Bro forgot some things that he had to put in, and that is why we were late. It is not me. It's him.
You know what? Not only is that fair, it's even more fair to point out that we've been sitting in the lobby for 20 minutes.
I wasn't going to say that, but you can say that all you want.
I mean, listen, I get it. Let's run through. First of all, yeah, I was about to say, before the music cuts back in, because I'm not on top of my job today, we'll get that rolling. Now we're ready to go for the end of the show. I don't do a good job of that. I did it today. We'll hit the comments up first. First things first, my man Ray is in the building. Shout out to my guy, Coach Greg is in the building as well. And first time listener, my man Chris is in the building as well. Of course. Of course. Hey, listen, man, I'm making an impact all over the world. Okay. We're trying to, at least. As I said, welcome to the Straub Bro Sports Show. Bro, we got some good things on the show today. We've got our final, and because we shouldn't talk about it anymore after this, your final NFL draft recap. We've got NBA playoffs. We're going to guard the land. We're going to touch on the Guardians. And, of course, as always, me and Little Bro are going to scream about our soccer teams as we cover the footy at the very end. Drew, you have the honors. Where shall we start today?
Because Ray is so early, and we talked about it last week and kind of had a debate on it, let's get into the draft.
All right, I'm here for that. First things first, because the comment is there. I really didn't believe in a lot of it, Coach. I really didn't. I want to tap in with you outside of the show. I've got some. Actually, I'm gonna. Can I go first?
Sure.
Can I go first? Thank you. We're not going to start with the NFL draft. We're going to start with a different set of football, sir. As we talked about it last week on the show, as you see on the shirt, I had my first Rapids. We had our first Rapids game. I had my first Rapids broadcast. Shout out to the hat that I'm wearing today, only because I didn't cut my hair. Not trying to be cool. Promise you that. But round 2 of the Ohio Cup, Cleveland Broncos, Cuyahoga Falls Rapids. And Drew, I don't know if you've been on social media at all, but we took that thing home. Okay. An outstanding performance by this defense. Josh Davis, your defensive and probably your game MVP, 4 sacks and a fumble recovery. Shout out to Mari Mitchell with just an absolute you got mossed catch in the first half, and then the touchdown. I'm sorry, the go-ahead touchdown in the second half. Shout out to this guy right here, Mr. Eat, Sleep, Gym, Football, Mark Hale. Mark, your and Reggie's interview is going up today. I apologize for it not being up already, but that's going up today after the show. So check out the Straub Bro Sports Show Instagram page or the Straub Bro Sports Show Facebook page, because that interview is going up. At the end of the day, it meant a lot to these guys. Anyone who was with us last year, it meant a little bit more to. And it wasn't, I'm not going to lie. I'm not a player. Okay. I'm a broadcaster. I'm the vice president. My mouse isn't working. So if you could take that photo down for me, Drew, that'd be, oh, there we go. It's probably going to come back up. I'm the vice president. I'm the broadcaster. Okay. Hey, and we appreciate you, coach. And good luck this year. I know you guys are gonna tear up the 3A side. And absolutely, I know they're already moved on. All the guys are already. We don't have a game this week. They're already tapped into the next opponent. But I do want to say it meant a lot to the players. It meant a lot to the guys. It meant a lot to us too.
I was wondering if you were gonna put that one up. Listen, no, not gonna rag on you because I know how much that means to you. And as an announcer / vice president, you're in pregame, during the week, right before you're setting up, and you're live in and postgame with the interviews as well. You're fully involved in this, so absolutely, you deserve to have a picture of you kissing the trophy. There's no disrespect over here.
No, not at all. I appreciate it, and I appreciate Coach for tapping in with us too. I will say, very, very, very much so. That Broncos team is good. We're good on our end. That Broncos team is good. That's why it was a great game. But it's preseason week 1, so we've got a lot of things to go. And the most important part about that rivalry is it's fun. The guys, there's a lot of crossover between the coaching staffs and players and everything like that. So there's a lot of love there, a lot of love between ownership. I was up in the booth with the guys. It's all love. We get to have some fun with it, but they got all their love last year with their trophy. So one more time. Hey, okay, I'm done. All right, that's it. But yeah, Cuyahoga Falls Rapids 1-0. We keep it rolling. We're on to the Bills. Oh, and speaking of, now that they're all everybody's tapping in now. Mari Mitchell. Mari's interview is going to go up too. Check out the Rapids page or the Straub Sports Show page to check out Mari's game-winning catch there. And then, of course, the big man in the middle doesn't die. All right, the Rapids are going to take over the Straub Sports Show. Take this thing back over. All right. Shout out to all my Rapids guys, too. All right, let's get rolling, Straub. NFL draft. Final touch on an okay draft. My thing is this, bro. And then I'm going to let you talk because I've talked too much. I really love all of the time leading up to the draft. Okay. It's exciting. We watch a lot of college football. We're tapped in on it. We're good to go there. We know we want to see guys that we've watched for multiple years get drafted. Dude, at the end of the day, these are a bunch of kids. I don't know if they're any good. So I don't believe in draft grades. I don't believe in that stuff. I wanted my team to get a certain number of guys at certain positions. If they did that, you should walk away and go, all right, we had a good draft. If they didn't, you can question your draft. How good a certain guy is, man, I don't know. With that being said, you take over.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. I also don't believe in draft grades because I think draft grades should only be assessed 3 years after the draft occurred, because then you truly know how that draft panned out. There's countless examples of guys getting low draft grades and low outlooks and then winding up being Hall of Famers. Tom Brady, Jason Kelsey, etc. And so I have a graphic of teams I think did well in this draft, but I'm not saying it because I think that these guys are going to be amazing. I did it because I think how the team drafted in general, based on what they need, is going to help them at least somewhat in the future.
Can I derail the show for 2 more seconds?
I want to say hello. We got to say what's up.
First of all, Rapids owner Daniel Demand is in the building. And Daniel, just one more time, that one's super sweet for you. And that one's even prettier. I'm not going to lie. All right. We're done. Now, on to your graphics, sir.
So obviously we're going to have the graphic of the teams I think that did really well. First, because the reason I called out Ray is because I kind of nailed it. I kind of predicted exactly how we were going to draft, and I just want my flowers. That's all I want. Well, I'm gonna say, obviously, if both of these guys turn out awful, I will never, get respect ever again.
This will be clear.
If both of these turn out great, and both these guys are studs, all I'm saying is I think I should maybe be in some draft room come next April. That's all I'm saying.
My man, he doesn't want to be on coverage for the draft. He wants in the actual war room.
Yes.
Well, to get your flowers, you have to toss it over to the other person who talks on this show. About night one, yes, a little bit. But at some point Friday night, I'm sitting there, I'm watching the draft, I'm talking to Nate. I'm going through stuff, I'm doing rapid stuff, and I look up and it was just Browns pick after Browns pick, and I'm like, this dude's nailing it. Like, he absolutely is nailing what they were going to do and what he wanted in this draft. So I have to give you complete and 100% props. You're not the only brother who kind of nailed it on what he wanted his team to do. But I will let you continue to talk about your Browns. Overall, they did good. However, you did miss the big one.
Yes.
The center.
The center. I wanted Jake Slaughter so badly. He's going to be a stud. The way they talked about him when he got drafted was exactly word for word what I was saying here, and it made me so upset. But that's okay.
As a neutral observer, not an observer, I'm not gonna go all here. Shout out to Ant. Like I said, the Rapids have taken over the Straub Sports Show. I'm here for it. While we'll pump the brakes on Super Bowl, you ain't figured out your quarterback position yet. This is hands down and absolutely right here. First of all flowers to you. You did very well, sir. This is one of the best drafts the Cleveland Browns have probably had. I mean, I hate to do this to you guys, but arguably, this is one of the best draft classes. Obviously, we have to see. Yes. But right now, when we walk away from the draft, this is one of the best draft classes in Browns history, since the Browns have come back.
Yeah, I would say this one, and then the one where we got Baker, Ward, Chubb. That was like right there is probably that one. No, you're absolutely right. You and I both thought that was a bad draft. Also, I just want to say it's crazy how when we get rid of the Moneyball guy, we all of a sudden have a great draft. Crazy how that works. But it was not just the Browns that drafted; other teams drafted as well. So yeah, that's exactly right. You are. Oh, we both hit it. You are exactly right. Paul DePodesta, I think, had too much control in the war room, and so letting Barry kind of hold the reins, he showed what he can do. And obviously, last year's draft turned out pretty good. This one looks to be good, so we'll see.
Never mad about wide receivers until they turn into Corey Coleman.
Oh man,
and if you've never seen the Hard Knocks scene with him that went famous,
oh my God,
no, you're missing out. You're missing out. Go search that one. And shout out to Coach Greg. Bengals going to win the AFC North.
As long as the O-line pans out. That's really it. As long as the O-line and the defense pan out, you made some pretty decent picks, but not the Bengals. We're going to talk about Dallas. I didn't think they had the best draft, but I think they had a good draft. There were some teams that I think nailed this draft.
Give them to me.
So, number one, we're going to move it out of the way really quickly. I think the Browns had an amazing draft.
You did, but for you to put your own team first on the graphic, like, come on.
Because we're going to move on, right? Denzel Boston and McWarren in the second round with both having first-round draft grades. Killed it. And I want to talk about it really quickly. Obviously, we took a quarterback. This was, and people have talked about it, a really weak back end of the draft. And some people are saying it's due to NIL and kids staying. It could just be a bad year.
Mm-hmm. Could be both. Mixture of both.
You had to take with what you got, right? With what was available. Well, yes, absolutely. I love the Joe Royer pick. A very raw has to definitely build on some things in terms of like getting open in space, but the potential's there. But speaking on the Taylor Green pick, getting an absolute freak athlete to stash away for a year while you figure out the quarterback problem, I'll never be mad at, especially because of how weak the back end of the draft was.
First of all, shout out to Turbo for tapping in that. Hell no, it was not to you. That was to there. As you talked about the Royal pick, I'm going to get to Ray's comment in a second when we do talk about the Cowboys. Remind me of that. The only question I have here is, though, my man, you did a quarterback list every week of the college season. Okay.
Yes.
You dove very deep into some names, into some teams not on the national radar. You know whose name was not once on your Drew's quarterback list? Okay. And that would be Arkansas quarterback Taylor Green. Now, I'm not saying that he can't turn around and become an NFL quarterback. Okay. And I do agree with you. And I agree it's a combination of both. NIL money is absolutely amazing. I mean, you're talking about the wide receiver from Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith, turned down $20 million to go to Miami to stay at Ohio State. Money is good in college, and it was kind of a weak draft. So you put those two together, I don't mind you taking a flyer on a quarterback. However, I do want to talk about this because there's all of a sudden been some Casey Conception hate, some questions. Yeah. I watched this Texas A&M team a lot, and there were countless a number of games that the reason they were in the game when they were just trying to outscore people because their defense couldn't stop a high school team.
Sure.
There were times that the reason drives were kept alive and the reason games were tied or they pulled ahead was because that kid by himself made plays. You got a playmaker. What did I scream about you guys doing in the draft? Don't overdo this. Go get the best guy. Go get the playmaker. You went and did that. I cannot criticize them. I can't criticize the pick.
No, the only thing that people were worried about are the drops, which I would say is one of the negatives that it's very hard to overcome in the NFL, right? You don't get better at route running, or you get better at route running really easily when you have a good coach. The drops are something to concern about, absolutely. If that rate decreases, this can be one of the best slot receivers in the NFL, truly. And now you have an X in Denzel Boston that could take the top off teams and kind of leave the middle of the field wide open. It is much easier for this as he's not going to have to be contested in a lot of his catches as he would if he was just by himself. So I understand the concern. The upside and the potential is so big there it's understandable. And also now that you got Denzel Boston, it's not like you only could pick one. You got both.
You also slipped, and I completely messed this up because I forgot. Just in the chaos of everything going on, you slipped past me that, and I forgot that the Joe Royer, I forgot he was a Bearcat as well. So that's the only reason you love that so much. The one thing that I love about your draft, and I'm going to then let you roll through the rest of this list though, and this will be my last point on the Browns draft. Where were your biggest holes last year? Your offensive line and your skill position. What did you go out and do? Offensive tackle, wide receiver, a safety, offensive tackle, center, linebacker, tight end, quarterback, tight end. The defense is okay. The defense is good. The defense is really good. The defense has Myles Garrett. You brought in a safety. You brought in a linebacker. That's amazing. Start to plug in. You needed an overhaul on offense, and you know what you did? You overhauled the offense. Now, is it going to turn around overnight? No, these are kids. Okay, these are kids. But you took a major step in the right direction. All right, I'll let you.
No, absolutely. I'd say, and a final thought is, yes, you basically filled the offense, and we're gonna let's see what we can do here. You also didn't completely ignore the defense and got a safety and a linebacker that probably should have gone around earlier, right? Just because of everywhere else going. And so while you hit high and a plenty on your offense, you also got great value in your defensive picks. That's going to also make sure that your defensive coordinator doesn't strangle Andrew Berry because they went all offense in the draft. So I think a fantastic draft by the Browns.
I agree.
Moving on to the other teams here on this list. The Indianapolis Colts, I think, absolutely nailed this draft. CJ Allen and AJ Halsey going in your first and second round, or your second and third round, are absolutely amazing value picks. CJ Allen is a linebacker that is going to replace just the names at linebacker that the Colts have had over the years. And AJ Hulsey, the safety at LSU, is going to be a monster. This Colts team, the problem wasn't the offense. The problem was they were giving up 30, 40 points a game. And so grabbing that and grabbing Caden Curry in the 5th round from Ohio State, you really bolstered that defense up. And then Deion Burks grabbing the Oklahoma wide receiver in the 6th round, I think that has the potential to be an amazing pickup. There's always a wide receiver in the late rounds that ends up starting, that ends up being really productive. And I truly think that could be somebody that Daniel Jones can look to as early as like halfway through his rookie year.
And hopefully he's open very quickly, because if not, Daniel Jones will not see him. Sorry.
Absolutely. Moving on. The Washington Commanders, Ken, this is I'm sorry, 2 out of the 4 teams, I think, in your division nailed the draft. The first one being the Commanders. Sonny Styles is a monster. Joshua Josephs is a great 2 slot cornerback coming out of Tennessee. And then just off vibes alone, grabbing Ethan Kaliakmanis off of Rutgers in the 6th round. We talked about it. You take flyers on guys in that. At worst, he is an amazing locker room guy that's going to be just someone that lifts the spirits. No, everyone has talked about him being basically, if comparing it to some Cleveland here, being the Austin Hedges at Rutgers, where everyone loves him, everyone gets along, he lifts up his teammates. That Rutgers team overachieved because of how well the team was bonded together, and he was a big part of that. So I think that's very good for a Commanders team that needed some youth injected into it. The New York Giants, Arvell Reese was a great pick. I'm glad they didn't go sideways on it.
I'm just going to point out that 2 of the players on my list that I wanted the Cowboys to take went to both of my division rivals. And I have more on that later.
Absolutely. And listen, I'm glad when they fell to New York, they didn't panic. They didn't go sideways. They picked who they were supposed to pick, and that's amazing. Also, Francis Mauigoa, there's going to be a comparison at the end of the year between him and Spencer Fano, just because those were the top 2, and then it was everybody else. So that's a great pickup, because I think either one could be better than the other. And so we'll see what happens there. Colton Hood, I wanted him in the 2nd round. I just didn't think Emmanuel McNair-Warren would drop that far. So Colton Hood was my pick at cornerback, and I'm like, the Giants are getting a good cornerback out of there. And then J.C. Davis is a good depth piece to help out that New York Giants offensive line that has again struggled a little bit. We gotta keep their skill players healthy.
I cannot wait for CeeDee Lamb to put up 150 yards on that corner. Go ahead.
And finally, not a amazing draft, but a draft I think for a team that, if we don't forget, made the playoffs last year and won the division, was a solid draft for a team trying to build off of their success. Chris Brazzell is an amazing pick for them early on. However, the back half of the draft, pick after pick for Carolina, where I said it was a weak back half of the draft, I went, ooh, that's a good pick. Ooh, that's a great person to take a risk on. Sam Hecht is a great safety out of Kansas State. I think he's going to do great for that team. And Zakee Wheatley, I think, was in one of those spots for the Browns that we had like a 4 and a 6, but he was projected in the 5th, and we would have had to reach a lot to pick him in the 4th, so I ended up not putting him in there. He was someone that I was looking at and would have reached for if there was anywhere closer. He's a great pick. So I think Carolina was a super solid draft.
It's very well done, sir. So that leaves us that leaves us with the Cowboys. So there's 2 ways that we can go about this, okay? There is the don't open the show while you're on the show, Ken. That's not how that works.
Correct.
I can take the analytical route. I can't talk today. Thanks a lot. Take the analytical route, which I'm prepared for. And then I'm also going to set aside time to just scream and yell at my team. Okay. I don't have my graphic from last week, so I apologize. That's my L there. So we'll start with the good stuff. Okay. I very much said that this Cowboys team needed to draft heavy on defense. I have the exact opposite problem of the Cleveland Browns. I have a good offense. No matter what we do with Pickens, the offense will be okay this year. The defense couldn't stop a high school team's offense. Okay. We couldn't stop Carolina, which is a high school team's offense. I'm sorry, not Carolina, Arizona. So, in terms of players, I'm in position-wise, I'm very happy. First things first, we'll get it up there.
Yes.
I'm going to love Caleb Downs, and I hate it so much for you. Drew, you made fun of me for it last week, but it also gave me some props. Yes, there is some beef between this side of the Straub Bros Sports Show and these Ohio State Buckeye fan base. Not so much your team, and it's mostly your fan base and your coach. I don't like your coach either. However, those Buckeyes can come on over to Dallas anytime they want. Shout out to Zeke. Okay. Shout out to Zeke. Shout out to the others. But I love Caleb Downs. I think it's great. I love the fact that he is excited. I mean, you got to love, well, whether or not you believe guys when they say they're excited to play in your city because they just got drafted there. Of course they are. But I'm excited to have somebody to step in and be a leader there. So you take a safety. Okay. Or, I mean, he's going to be a hybrid. He's going to be everywhere. But you take a safety with the first pick. You take Malachi Lawrence, who to a lot of people is considered one of the top edge rushers in the draft or will be. Then you take another one in the third round from Michigan. Then you take an offensive tackle. And that was the thing I said. I said I needed a linebacker. I needed a corner. I needed an edge. And then I needed to sprinkle in maybe some offense and with some offensive line and wide receiver. Offensive tackle from Penn State. We go over and get the corner from Florida. We get another edge from Alabama. We end with a wide receiver. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives me 5 defensive players on a bad defense. Love that. Mix in an offensive lineman on a team that is notoriously great. I can give them credit for at drafting offensive linemen. And always good to throw in another wide receiver. We are planning on moving on from George Pickens at some point. Great. Yes. Absolutely phenomenal. Would walk away. If I did grades, I'd give us a high one. Drew, what did I say last week when we talked about the Browns and the Cowboys potentially trading? That the Cowboys were really good at drafts, regardless of the hate. And that the only time we F up a draft is when we trade. Now, if you're just looking from the outside, you will go, Ken, you just said that your team drafted every single need on the draft board. Yeah, 100% right. So the trades wouldn't have mattered. No. Okay? The draft is not just getting the players that you need. The draft is also a chessboard. Sometimes moving ahead of a rival or taking a guy from someone within your division or a rival can be as beneficial as drafting a good player because you're stopping a team from filling a piece. So there the Cowboys were, sitting at the draft. One of the biggest storylines leading into this NFL season is the fact that A.J. Brown might be traded away from Philly. Philly was then looking at a wide receiver. A wide receiver that was going to come off the board. So what did the Dallas Cowboys do? The Dallas Cowboys got on the phone with the effing Eagles, their division rival, the team that won a Super Bowl, the team that everyone in this division is chasing, and said, yeah, we'll trade back so you can get your next franchise wide receiver so you can trade another one away. Here you go, team. Let's help you. And then, because we weren't done there, because we couldn't just hand over a draft pick to a division rival, the 49ers then called us, a team that's eliminated us from the fucking playoffs, I couldn't tell you how many times. And we decided to go, yeah, we'll trade back to help you out too. Now, yeah, we got a linebacker out of it. Cool, we're going to sign him. He's great. All blah, 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 blah. We absolutely walked into that draft room, that war room, and that you want to talk about being, I'm going to go bust heads in the war room next year. We took the draft board and started playing checkers while everybody else was playing chess. Well, I got kinged, but we're not even playing that game, and now I just took your queen. So what are you talking about? So yeah, we had a good draft, but you don't help two teams that you're trying to chase have a better one.
I'm going to make a statement that you and the chat probably disagrees with. I think you helped the Eagles mess up their draft. Because, yes, AJ Brown is leaving. We know that, right? They still got two really good wide receivers. And you know what they needed in that first round? An edge rusher. You know what they needed in that first round? They needed a lineman because their line was I think 2 or 3 guys retired. And instead, they pick another receiver and trade up and trade away draft picks to get it. That everyone is talking about the Eagles drafted great. The Eagles drafted great. Sure, you hit on a receiver that's going to be a surplus. Now that you still have Saquon, you still have great tight ends, you still have Devonta Smith, and they just traded for somebody in Kansas City. You didn't need them, and so in my head, right, you went, oh, they want a receiver. Okay, they're not taking the edge we want. They're not taking Malachi Lawrence, and Pittsburgh's not taking Malachi Lawrence. They got T.J. Watt. Okay, and Detroit's not taking it. They got Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, we get a draft pick. We move back 3 spots, and we still get the guy that we were going to take 3 picks earlier. And so maybe the San Francisco one's not great.
It depends how you rate the linebacker.
The Philly one, I think your GM went, hey, Jerry, let them do this. Let them overcommit, take another thing, not fill themselves, not fill a major need, and instead grab a surplus that's going to be sitting on, be the second, third receiver in 2 or 3 years. And instead, you get a cornerstone defensive player. You in a weak edge,
linebacker D Winters is the guy that we traded with the 49ers the 49ers.
And then in a weak edge class, I wouldn't say like awful weak, but like not top 5, not like amazing players. You got a bunch, and we're like, these guys should, like, one of these guys is going to pan out and be a good one. And then the Devin Moore pick is a great cornerback pick. And then offensive tackle, you filled a rotation piece. And then in the 7th round, you went, we're going to take a flyer and a speedy wide receiver. Absolutely done.
The Apple pen is now my official pen to point at you with.
And you pissed off Pittsburgh. So I think that was a great draft for you.
I work with a absolute shit ton of Pittsburgh Steelers fans. They were furious because from everything that was reported, Pittsburgh was taking.
Oh yeah, they were on the phone with him.
I can't remember who the wide receiver's name is right now.
Mekhi Levin. They were on the phone with him, and Philly called him and went, "Actually, we're going to trade up. You're not going to Pittsburgh. You're coming to us."
Mom is not in the chat. Sorry, Mom. When you run this back, I apologize.
You were going.
And we don't do a lot of personal stuff, but I have to. I want to give some love to my stepbrother, Brandon, who's laid up in the hospital right now. But we're on the mend. Love you, bro. Love you. My big bro. Big stuff, bro. But yeah, we keep the family stuff on the family side. But now that it was mentioned, I had to throw that out there. But yeah, Pittsburgh, big mad. Sorry about the F-bomb. Yeah, I mean, all right, I can roll with this. Okay, I can try to get behind this because I do agree with you on that. I'm not D Winters is a good linebacker. I mean, listen, we're not gonna. He's not bad by any means. So if that pans out and this Eagles offense falls apart, then yeah, we made it out. Now, a couple other things I do want to mention on the draft. Shout out to my guy Jeremiah Love. I love you so much. I feel so bad for you. As soon as he went to Arizona, we officially call that the Straub chat, which is me, you, and Pops. The dad was like, "I'm sorry." I said he's going to die there. It's not good there. I mean, obviously they've
Dude.
moved on from Kyler Murray. So we'll see what happens. But so there was that. Go ahead, touch on that because I'm not done on Notre Dame because I have to give my squad.
Oh, absolutely. All I was gonna say was, yeah, Jeremiah Love, a good first pick, but just a bad team. Chase Pazantis is a good guard, but they need help across the board on the offensive line. You then draft Carson Beck with the first pick in the 3rd round. That's an immediate over. Listen, if you get him in the 4th or 5th, you may not have gotten him there, but I'm not drafting him with the first pick in the 3rd round. Then you proceed to not draft another lineman until the 7th round.
That I have a bigger problem with. The thing, and when you listen to some of the former GMs, they will say, though, the value in getting your guy at quarterback outweighs what the risk is of I missed out on this guy, especially because when you get to the later part of the draft, you have to look down a little bit more than even sometimes the first round, because you can look and go, yeah, Carson's going to be available in the 6th round. Yeah, but so-and-so needs a quarterback and they've got 2 picks in the 5th. They're going to take him. We have to take him in the 4th or in the 3rd. And now you're jumping for a guy, but you're going to get your guy. I do kind of like that pick. You're bringing an adult into a situation where they need an adult. You cannot bring a kid into that situation. That is a bad situation. And I know Carson Beck is still a kid, but in terms of some of the guys that have been drafted, he is a little bit more of an adult. So that is something to look at. Props right here, baby. To my Notre Dame Fighting Irish to become the first team to have 2 running backs drafted in the 1st round, as not just Jeremiah Love, but Jadeveon Price went in the later 1st round to, I do believe, to the Baltimore Ravens. So you're going to see him within the division. What?
Something like that. I can't remember.
Maybe not Baltimore. I'm not. Okay. So that's my bad. And then a funny story. Drew, has there been a quarterback that has taken the last 2 to 3 weeks of the college season into the awards and into the draft and plummeted his own draft stock more than former Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia, who went from a Heisman candidate? And you can clock it. Okay? You can clock it. Isn't that what the kids say? You can clock it.
Sure.
The minute the award was handed over to Fernando Mendoza and Diego Pavia left that ceremony, and I'm not gonna put something on a kid if he didn't do it, but I don't know if there was some drinks. I don't know if there what there was, but the minute those tweets started being fired off, this kid has completely ruined his chances, almost completely, of being in the NFL, but has completely tanked his draft status.
Yeah, here's
the
problem.
He went undrafted.
Yeah, the first one since like 2018, they were saying, I think 2017.
Yeah, went undrafted, which shows you the attitude off the chain, not just outside, but inside clearly when they're interviewing him. And then I will get to the funny stuff after with him, but go ahead. You go first.
Yeah, here's the problem, right? Talented kid in college.
I love him.
Super talented. On the field, you can tell he gives the effort, right?
2 years I was on that kid. I love him.
Here's 2 problems. One, initially undersized, right?
Yes.
For a quarterback, listen, no matter how talented you are in college, teams are going to take that into account. People were calling Baker Mayfield undersized forever, and thankfully with his attitude and his Heisman, he went up there, but there were still questions which
means they're going to be okay with a little bit of fire, and people love how Baker is. And
yes,
all love to my guy Sterling. Shout out to you. Oh, hey, by the way, Sterling, real quick. Wow, that's for you, brother. All right.
But here's the problem, right? There wasn't a Baker Mayfield, I don't care where I get drafted, I want to go there. There wasn't a, if the Browns pick me, I'm taking them to a Super Bowl. There was none of that. There was a very spiteful and arrogant guy post Heisman. And you have to believe that instead of in those interviews going, it was a moment, I was very upset and very emotional. It's not going to, that's not who I am. Either he doubled down or completely just skirted it, because there's obviously talent in this kid. You know what I mean? There's a chip on his shoulder. There's a fire. The arm talent is there. The legs are there. To go from a Heisman finalist to undrafted, the attitude and everything in between just showed teams, yeah, no, I can't with this kid, because he doesn't have the figure or the talent to justify taking him that high regardless.
I mean, that was beautifully said, first of all, as more of our Rapids guys check in. Shout out to Mr. Warfield. I got to do it for him too. Bow. That's for you, my guy. You could not have nailed that any better, brother. For real. He absolutely had to have gone in and maybe not necessarily doubled down, but said, no, listen. Because they asked him. Okay? They asked him, hey, the comments after that, do you really think that you deserve to win the Heisman? And the correct answer would have been, you know what, that was Mendoza's award, the season that he had, and I'm a competitor. I want to win everything. And I thought that because of that, I really needed that. And I wanted that, but you know what? I don't. And you could have turned that into a positive. I got a bad feeling this kid walked in there and went, oh yeah, I 100% deserve to win it. And now some teams will like that, but when you mix in everything, it's not good. I mean, no.
That would have been the most Browns thing ever, for one.
Him and Shador in the same locker room. That would have been some highlight media. You got to take
him, Shador, Deshaun Watson. Yeah.
No. And then on top of that, well, I guess we will spin into the positive. He was signed. The Baltimore Ravens did pick him up, which is, here's the thing. The one thing about Diego is he's a moving guy. He's going to stay in the pocket a bit, but he's got some speed to him. So to have him as a backup for Lamar, it's not like you're going from Lamar to just, Tom Brady. And I don't mean Tom Brady the greatness. I mean Tom Brady the style of quarterback.
Yeah.
The funny thing though is, and I got to shout out to my man Chris, or I'm sorry, to my man Vinny, who sent it to me. It's imagine just Derrick Henry picking up Diego Pavia on a quarterback run and just running him with the ball. Because Diego Pavia is what, 5'4", 5'5".
He's a little taller than that, but
I'm just saying. All right, that's it. I got no more NFL draft. Do you?
Nope. I think we listen. We're not gonna know anything else until week 1.
100%. Drew, I have a commercial in here and I don't remember what it is. What did I play last week?
You know what, Ken? That's a very good question. Why don't we just find out live on the show?
All right, we're gonna just wing it. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a pause here. We did enough of the NFL draft. When we come back, it's time to put on your hoop and shoes. It's time to put on your Nikes. We're gonna run around the NBA and we're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs. Back. Question. Do the Magic have a chance? Happen. But this team has some Atlanta Hawk the year that they made a run to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That being said, Hornets.
Yes. Thank you. We're good. Warriors and Suns. Give me the Warriors. I don't think there's any question. I'm gonna ride the Steph Curry not last dance tour, but the closing run of it. I'm gonna ride that out. So I'm good there.
I will never not in a winner or loser goes home game. I will never not bet for Steph Curry.
Drew, I'm going to take the Suns out of the conversation. I apologize.
Probably a good idea.
I apologize to Phoenix. If you had any real fans, I would care. Also, if the Hornets go out and smoke the Magic, I will absolutely guarantee and put a parlay in that they will win game 1 against the Pistons.
I like that. I mean, outdated but relevant.
Shout out to Ray. Yeah. Listen, I think it's funny because we spent the first 35 minutes, whatever, of the show patting ourselves on the back because we both nailed both of our drafts. So got to give yourselves a little flack when you mess it up. All right, Drew. Let's take a run around the NBA playoffs. And Drew, I don't mean to also then immediately give us some love. We talked about it in our preview for the playoffs. We like what's going on in the East. We thought it would be fun. We really love our Cavaliers. But in the West, it was a two-dog race, Thunder and Spurs. And would you look at that, Drew? The only two teams so far to advance in the playoffs, the Thunder with a complete sweep of those Suns that I said had no fans and wouldn't make it, and the Spurs who, despite losing a game without Wemby, rallied back. Trailblazers gave a great effort, but the Spurs took care of business there. We'll take care of those two teams first. Drew, short and sweet. Obviously the Thunder swept, so there's nothing really to say there other than, yeah, they took care of business. Is there anything about that San Antonio series that gives you pause or gives you concern other than the fact that we now know they are in trouble if they don't have Wemby, but every team is in trouble without their best player?
No, right, but the gap in which the Spurs kind of fell in terms of their intensity and everything. So that is the only cause for concern is if Wemby has to take a game or two off in the conference semis or the conference finals. Is that going to be too much of a hole for them to come back and when Wemby gets healthy? That's my only concern. But no, I think these two teams show that they are by far the best two teams in the West. And they have to be happy that the other two series are at least going 6 and they get kind of a chance to rest, especially Spurs now because Wemby will be fully healthy and fully okay by the time they get to the semis.
I 100% agree. Now, let's get to the one that I predicted incorrectly. I mean, but I wasn't not going to say Lakers in 4. Lakers and Rockets. Lakers up 3-2. Can the Lakers seal the deal? Can they finish this? Or are they going to let the Rockets all the way back in?
That was the concern. I watched the game last night, and it seemed like the Lakers, when they're putting in full effort, are smoking these Rockets. They're moving the ball. They have the 3-point ability, but it seems like they kind of just take their foot off the gas a little and just let the Rockets come back into this game and letting them back into the series. And so I understand you want to play the Thunder as late as possible. But I think now, going into game 6 here, you got to just slam the door here. You cannot let this Rockets team move it to a game 7 because at that point, are you losing too much momentum? And now you can't get it going enough. And these Rockets are too high and have too much momentum that they're just going to take it to you and you can't stop them.
Well, the biggest help currently for those Lakers is the fact that Kevin Durant will be out for game 6 with an ankle injury. So, I mean, the mountain just... What?
Is I understand, right? Ankle injuries, they suck. Is he just kind of waiting?
Ooh. Wow. And I have the hot takes. Is Kevin Durant yesterday? You said what?
It felt like it yesterday when I was watching the game. Is KD just kind of going, hey, if we make it to the second round, I'll be back and healthy and going. But if not, I'm not risking further injury by potentially getting eliminated anyways.
I like how you framed it the second time. The first time was way more big bro than little bro. There is no modern athlete that we can put that accusation towards that has more proof of it being true than Kevin Durant. The way
that's kind of why I've been thinking about it.
The way he kind of checked out in Oklahoma City, the way he completely checked out at the end in Golden State, the way he was reported he checked out in Brooklyn, Now we move over. I don't even remember where we were after Brooklyn. Did we go right to Houston? I don't even know anymore. I don't. I can believe it, Drew. I really can. And he's already and there. Let's put some back on story on this. You're talking about somebody who's had multiple knee injuries, has had ACLs replaced. Like this is not
Achilles.
a guy who's
Yeah.
been healthy all the time. This is a guy with a history of knee issues. So no, I guess I wouldn't necessarily be overly critical. I mean, the competitor in me and what the competitor I know a lot of these guys to be would say, I'm going out there and I'm giving it all. But I could also understand KD saying, if I try that, I won't be here for the rest. That's also, it's a tough spot. So Lakers in prime position to be able to eliminate the Rockets. The other series, I told you, what I tell you, I
This
said
one's a
this
good
would
one.
be one of the best series, period, in all of the playoffs. Timberwolves up 3-2 over the Nuggets. Here's the problem, though. Right. We have talked about this, and I said it, and you can put your own spin on it as well. We said, as long as Minnesota was hot, they could win this series because the Nuggets were going to pretty much play to a consistent level, a good level, a great level. But if you could dip above that for at least 4 games, obviously, they could take them out. Is this game 6 must win for the Wolves?
Oh, that's a good question. I say no. And here's why. Because looking at the Nuggets kind of roster formation, right? The makeup of the roster here. Obviously Jokic is going to get his 20 to 30. That's obvious, right? Aaron Gordon is day to day, could play, could not play either game in the series.
Anthony Edwards out for the rest of the series.
Jamal Murray is one of those players where if the Nuggets were to win, he has to have good performances. And the issue with Jamal Murray is, and this has been his entire career, he has been massively inconsistent, right? He had 30, in 3 of these 4 games. Then he had 16, right? And went 5 for 17 in their loss. And obviously he had 24 in their win. He was also 9 for 23 shooting wise. So if you get a good game out of Jamal Murray in this game 6 and that gets taken and goes to 7, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a good game from Jamal Murray. And honestly, it's very possible you have an awful game from Jamal Murray and Jokic is by himself out there trying to, keep them in the game. I think the Timberwolves have more consistent players in terms of what they're going to give you. And I know we kind of flipped this narrative before, in the previous week. But when it comes to a game 7, if I'm saying I have to rely on Jamal Murray to, take us over the top and beat this Timberwolves team that is playing out of their mind right now, I don't know if I could do it.
Did Jamal Murray cut you off in traffic today, man? Like, damn.
I love Jamal Murray. I think Denver has more rings than they do if they have a consistent Jamal Murray throughout the playoffs.
And here's the little thing I'm going to tinker with you a little bit. This is why you're really great at analytics, but you're bad at hot takes sometimes. Anthony Edwards is out. Denver's got the best player. This is over. Now, and here's why. Because now I have to do something that I said you would not be able to do for 4 games. And that's rely on Julius Randle to be the best player on the court. He can be. Well, not best player. He can be the second best player because he's not going to be better than Julius Randle or than himself, than Jokic. But I mean, he had 27 in the game, 27 and 9. But without Anthony Edwards, they don't have the guy who consistently can go get the bucket. And what I know about Jokic is they're going to now tell him, hey, defensively, I now need you and someone else to just completely take Julius Randle out of the game and make everyone else beat us. And then I think at that point, that's where Denver, as long as, I mean, they don't go absolutely lights out shooting wise, that's where I think they'll be okay. You're not going to necessarily get 30 to almost 40 something points or whatever it is off the bench as well. I mean, you're asking a lot. I'm not saying it can't happen, but for you to have to do it against a team with championship experience, I'm not so sure. But I do love listen, if it happens, you're going to look like an absolute genius. So, and all the Wolves have to do is get hot one time.
Once.
They've got they 2 chances to just get hot once. So we'll see what happens there. All right. We're going to flip over to the Eastern Conference, and we're going to talk about everybody else, and we're going to save the Cavaliers for last. So we're going to run through these. First of all, Drew, congratulations. You are 1 game away from an amazing reel of you talking about this Magic team taking out the Pistons. Come on. Pat yourself on the back some more, kid.
I'm not going to pat myself about the Magic. I'm going to pat myself because, like the Penn State segment that I've spewed weekly, I have been the biggest hater of this Pistons team because of one man. Just because of one man, and that is JB Bickerstaff. And it is so amazing to watch JB Bickerstaff do exactly what he did with Cleveland and get proven right that regardless of what team he's on, he does not know how to pull the right strings and pull the levers to just have a good, solid playoff performance. Because even if they win this series, right? Let's say they take the next 2 and they beat Orlando. No one's going to be confident in this Pistons team or give them any credit whatsoever. Because as a 1 seed, this series shouldn't have gone 6. This series shouldn't have gone 6 rather than 7, even if they do win. And so that's the biggest takeaway here for me, I think, is that regardless of who wins this series, I think, again, if you are Detroit's upper management, I'm not saying to fire the guy, absolutely not. But you got to look at yourself if you're going, is this just who JB Bickerstaff is? Is this just like, is this kind of his MO? Someone who's great in the regular season, as soon as the playoffs come, doesn't know how to kind of tweak, right? So that's my biggest takeaway of this series.
The only caveat to that is Detroit has the best player in the series. Yes. And if Cade Cunningham's going to go for 45, all right, for the next 2 games, the Pistons have a really good chance to win both of those games.
Absolutely.
So the way we talked about it on the other side, Minnesota, you got 2 games to just get hot one time. Detroit or Orlando, you have to just one time shut down Cade, and you're going to win this series. So we'll see what happens. That next game is Friday. Drew, Knicks, Hawks. Knicks up 3-2 over the Hawks. We blew all up. We threw in all on the hype when the Hawks started to go up in the series. Oh no, is the New York championship run derailed? Blah, 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 blah. But we did say it. I said it. You agreed. Are we going to end up looking at this series if the Knicks advance and they continue to advance? Hey, no one goes through the playoffs undefeated. No one goes through the playoffs 4-0 throughout, maybe the Thunder, but nobody, although they didn't even do that in the finals. So nobody goes through like that. There are going to be little blips on the road that kind of throw things off. Or do the Hawks still have a chance here?
They have a chance. It's a long shot. I think 2 things here since we saw it. One, I think that since we last talked, this Knicks team has taken this Hawks team a lot more seriously, as you can tell by the 2 games where the Hawks have scored less than 100 points each time. And 2,
98 and 97.
The issue, and I think the issue with the Hawks is what I think the Pistons are going to be able to do, and the Nuggets are going to be able to do, and the Rockets can do, but I think the Hawks are very hard pressed to do. CJ McCollum has to literally take over for the next 2 games. And Cade can do it. Jokic can do it. whoever the Rockets throw out there is going to do it, can probably do it against this Lakers team if they really want to. I don't think CJ McCollum has enough to take on this Knicks team basically by himself for 2 games and win. That's the biggest issue here. Hey, I will give them all the credit in this world. They made this more of a series than I think anyone thought that was going to happen, even Hawks fans. I just think they don't got enough.
I mean, the CJ McCollum who played 32 minutes and had 6 points. All love to CJ, Ohio guy. This is all love. Yeah. I mean, he's on the very, very tail end of the story of his career. So, but 6 points. Nobody in the Hawks starting lineup went over 18 points, and they've got 24 points off the bench. You're talking literally, Brunson had 39 himself. I mean, Towns 17 and 10, a little bit more score. I'm sorry, 16 and 14. Anunoby had 17 and 10. You're gonna need more production out of Karl Anthony Towns, but this with Brunson going off, this is enough to take out this Hawks team. Yeah. And then we'll jump down to the last one there at the bottom. Celtics 3-2 over the 76ers. I mean, is this Boston team are they finally righting the ship? I know they did lose this last game, but and as you said, I'm gonna point you out for being correct again. None of these games have been close, except for one. There's an 8 points. Yeah, but so is this just going to continue, or do we think Boston has figured this out?
This is what, and obviously we're going to get into it next. This is what makes me so mad that the Cavs look like shit. This East is wide open. We listen, if the Knicks and the Celtics ran through these teams, right? Even if Detroit, looked like how Detroit's looking, I would go, and this is the Cavs who our Cavs are now. I would go, you know what? This Cavs team, they just didn't have what it takes. Even if we get past whoever's in the, whoever makes it past the Pistons and the Magic, we're getting blown out by whoever makes these kind of final. We can beat anybody on this side of the bracket, anybody with how they're playing right now. And it makes me more angry that we're playing like this. And so, sorry to just talk about Cavs here. The Celtics, I think, are going through what the Celtics went through the year before they won the championship, which is Brown and Tatum didn't know how to coexist on the court together because they were both great. They were both guards. They both wanted the ball all the time. And then they figured it out. And then Tatum got hurt for a year.
Yeah.
Or 6, I should say. And then now they're back. And again, they don't know how to coexist on the court together again. And so obviously we've talked about how their lack of bench is hurting them. Absolutely, their lack of spacing is hurting them. As soon as these two figure out how to coexist on the court again, they're favorites in the East again. And that's perfectly fine. But that's the problem. For this whole series, it's, they got it. They figured it out. And then the next game, they forgot again. And so we'll see if they figured it out. But
and when you talk about help, I mean, Tatum 24, Brown 22, the rest of the starters 8, 8, 6. I mean, 12 off the bench from Pritchard, and that's it. When you get 33 points from Joel Embiid, another 25 and 10 from Tyrese Maxey, then you fill in 16 from Paul George, 10 from VJ Edgecombe. That's a complete game. That's what the Celtics are not doing in the losses. I mean, this series has been crazy in the terms of fact that, or in sense of that neither of these teams can play close games -1. I agree. This is concerning because if these two can't get on the same page, not just in terms of going and getting buckets, but getting everyone else involved while they're doing it, and they're not turning it into you go, I go, you go, I go, and you're starting to get somewhat MVP level Joel Embiid mixed in with the rest of this Philly team that was built around him being that, Celtics are in real trouble. I know they're up 3-2, but they could still be in trouble.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought up them being involved because like I said, obviously, the role players are going to feed off your stars, right? And that is why I think the Sixers have been successful in some of these games, because you look at this last game, right? Paul George, while only having 16, 7 assists. Joel Embiid, along with his 33 points, 8 assists. Tatum and Brown did not have over 5 assists this game. And so, yes, they're going to get you your 20-plus points. You have to distribute the ball as well. And that goes with coexisting. Listen, you can go, you go, I go, you go, I go. You have to get others involved. You can't go 8 for 19 and 9 for 23 and get 20 points and expect to win the game. You have to distribute the ball to the others. And that's their biggest problem right now.
100%. All right. Cleveland Cavaliers up 3-2 over the Toronto Raptors. However, it took a nice little comeback after being down majority of the game for them to take that 3-2 lead. Drew, I have to do something behind the scenes, so I'm going to pause my camera and my mic, and I'm going to allow you to take over first on the rant side.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I want to. Yes, Cavs are up 3-2. It feels like we're on the brink of elimination here. And that's the vibe that at least I feel, and that I feel that everyone else feels, because this was supposed to be your tune-up, right? This was supposed to be a 4-1, right? Maybe a 4-0 if you looked really good. A tune-up for whoever the Pistons and the Magic were, and that was going to be the actual series, right? This team has looked just unenthused to be out on the court with this Raptors team the entire series. And it shows for a lot of the game, right? The defense absolutely just is missing assignments and is missing guarding, and it's allowing guys to just cut through to the basket. And it infuriates me. Guys just getting left wide open on the three-point line. But their turnovers are the things that have been bothering me the most. And it's one of those things where they come at the worst time possible, right? You're up 5, 6, 7, 8, but then the Raptors hit a 3, cut it to whatever. And then immediately down the court, a lot of times it is James Harden here. It's a dumb pass. It's a pass that doesn't need to be made, that is too risky for a need a bucket kind of possession, and we just give the ball away. And I think that's what I think people are so frustrated with this team about, is that when you look at last year's team and even the first half of this year's team, right? It's good ball movement, it's clean basketball. The shooting just wasn't there, right? The shooting is here when a shot, when a good shot, an open shot is found. But the ball movement is lacking, where we are completely invested in this ISO ball, which infuriates the hell out of me. Because, listen, we knew that's James Harden's thing, but Donovan's now starting to do it. You're giving it to James Harden with 20 seconds on the shot clock, and he's ISO balling for 15 of it, and it's infuriating. But you're also lacking defensively, something that you took pride in last year in the first year, that you were insanely good defensively. And you're also just turning the ball over at a rate that's unlike what this team was last year in the first half of the year. And I don't want to put it on James Harden entirely, because it's a team sport. You have everything. There's just a noticeable shift in kind of how this team operates since inserting him in the lineup. And I don't know if that's Kenny just kind of letting him drive the ship and letting him and, Mitchell feed off each other, or if he's just going rogue out there. But there's a different style to this team, and I think it's for the worse.
So this happened. Okay. First things first, the thing that pisses me off the most about this team right now is they're not even allowing Brandon Ingram. And I know he only played 11 minutes, and he's not even
awful this series.
Right. I mean, RJ Barrett is absolutely taking these guys to task. And that's a real problem. The thing is also, I believe And you talked about it with the Lakers. Man, when the Lakers are trying, they're winning. Yeah. I mean, that has been a staple of LeBron James towards the end of the regular season. Now, normally he turns it up in the playoffs, but at this age, he can only do so much. But it reminds me of that. This whole entire team and coaching staff, in my opinion, just completely thought they were going to wash through. And now that they haven't, it's a problem.
No,
and the ISO ball is awful. It's literally turned into him and Mitchell kind of taking turns, but it isn't just the taking turns. This team isn't slowing down and playing in the half court offense. They are just trying to take off, and that is not going to work. And that I am putting on Kenny, because at some point, yes, let your guys flow and let them play. Let James Harden do James Harden things. Let Donovan Mitchell do Donovan Mitchell things. Let these guys play a little bit of ISO, then feed the ball off to Mobley or to Dean Wade, to your shooters, whatever it might be. The problem is they're trying to force that so much that it's predictable, and it's easy to stop when it's not broken up with some half court, which you have to do in the playoffs. The defense has been awful. It started to ramping up when they started to figure it out late. I don't know if this is also a Knicks situation where we just didn't take Toronto serious because we really didn't think that they were going to be that. Not to mention, they were absolutely prepared for Brandon Ingram to take the haul and kind of go at them, and it hasn't been. So you have to make adjustments within the series. We'll see what happens in Game 6 to kind of see if they can if they have it figured out, or if there's still some things to figure out. But going further, and I'm going to look over to Evan Mobley too. I know he's had statistically a decent series. My problem is when I watch the game and they're down 6 trying to get it to 4, when they're up 4 trying to get it to 6, that man cannot finish the layup. He can't make the dunk. He can't grab the rebound every time, and it's frustrating. I need a little bit more clutch out of Evan Mobley. I don't need just 15. I need those 5 late. You know what I mean? And he did come up big down this when we were trying to he did come up big during the comeback as we were trying to come back in the third quarter and into the fourth. But I need a little bit more clutch, because I can't always look at those 2 guards and say, you've got to make a guy miss and you've got to get through traffic every single play. I know you got 2 of them, but even if you have 2 of them, there's only so much different in the dynamic, and it makes the defense easier.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think last thing to note on here is that something that I've noticed is we've completely gone away from the pick and roll game. And I think that absolutely baffles me, considering you have 2 of the best running bigs in the league. You have one of the best pick and roll artists in James Harden in the league. Donovan can do a really great job. And then you have spot up shooters in Strus and Merrill that can just sit on your wings and wait for a kick out if it doesn't work. And so that's something I would like to see in Game 6. Just, hey, run the pick and roll until it doesn't work, because that's what this team is built for, truly.
The other thing, and I'm going to, obviously, to his comment there, only 9 points in the win, but the thing, this is the difference. Every time I see Jared Allen get in the bucket, it matters.
Yes.
When we used to talk, and Cavaliers fans, you know, obviously, you know the NBA, you'll understand this reference. If you're a Cavaliers fan, you're definitely going to. Kevin Love in Minnesota was a double-double machine. He was a monster. He was putting up 40-point double-doubles and stuff in losses. Because, you know, here's the thing about the NBA. Every team scores 100, which means somebody's got to get 25 plus. They're not all created. Not all those points are created equal. Yeah, you got to get buckets early on, but they matter more late. And Jared Allen gets clutch buckets. And this reminds me of what we talked about Golden State when they won the first round, that first play-in game, when Al Horford went off. What did I talk about? Al Horford hadn't played a lot. Now that it's playoff time and I get my rest and I know that this is what I'm here for, I can give you everything, even as an older player. You got to lean on Jared Allen when you can. Jared, I may not need you for all 7 next series, but I need you to go in and eat on this one because none of these guys are going to be able to stop you if we can get rolling like that. So that I like that comment too, a comment as well from Ray as always. Let's get Jared Allen eating too. All right. Are we good?
Yeah, we'll see. And it's great playoff so far. Great series. The Cavs Raptors series is a good series. We just don't like it because we're not dominating.
Right. Leave it to Cleveland fans in some fashion to find the panic. All right, Drew. Let's guard the land. Let's guard the land. Let's talk about these Cleveland Guardians. We skipped on them last week. It was we didn't really dive too far into it, but let's jump in.
Yeah. Honestly, it's actually really funny. The last time I made this graphic, we were also 500. 16-16, tied for first in the AL Central. I also want to put an interesting thing on here. There was a stat that went out, and it was the leaders of opponent fielding run average, which means the runs that were saved by the opponent due to good fielding, right? The second highest was six runs, and the third highest was 5. At number 1 were the Guardians at 17. So obviously 16-16 is not the greatest start you want. We're also getting kind of unlucky when it comes to the teams we're facing, the pitcher we're facing, but also the defenses that we're facing. And so I wanted to put some context in that record before we started talking about some of the guys that are playing well and not playing so well.
I mean, you can take any sport and you can put that to it. I mean, literally, you're talking about a Kansas City Chiefs team that the last time they went and won the Super Bowl were like a 10-0 or 10-1, 11-1 in 3-point wins. And then the next season, it just completely derailed and they couldn't win a close game. The Guardians got very lucky last year. Okay. Detroit collapsed. We kept winning multiple games with them down the stretch. It worked out. The ball doesn't always bounce the way you need it to. Now, that doesn't mean that's also the
long season.
Right. Now, we're not talking about 17 games. We're not talking about 82 games. We're talking about 162 games. So that ball has way more opportunities to land where it's supposed to, as we guard the land with my Guardians hat. Oh, wait. Colin Cowherd says you can't be a professional quarterback with your hat on backwards. So I'll turn my hat around for a segment. Look like a baseball player. So yeah, this record could be better. This is what this team is going to be. The thankful part is, as you said, tied for first in the division with Detroit. We have to give a little bit of love.
Absolutely.
The Chicago White Sox, a game and a half out, 14-17. Ken, it's April. Yeah, this team was already eliminated the last 2 April. Okay, absolutely toast by April. Okay, so Chicago finally starting to put it back together. Minnesota 13-18, Kansas City, 12-19. Although we'll be in Kansas City at some point, so let me not that too much. This team is going to have growing pains, as I talked about, but there is, because of the division, this team is going to play meaningful baseball, which is more important. Or not more important, but is really important for the development of these kids. I'm turning my hat back
around. No, you're absolutely right. Also, just to brief on the White Sox, they won their 14th game May 14th last year. So a full 2 weeks ahead of schedule here.
Thank you.
Yes, but this Guardians team, and based on the record, as we can see, have some ups and have some downs. And that's why we want to talk about who's playing well and who's not playing so well. I want to do playing well first because that's the fun stuff. The emergence of Daniel Schneemann as the we can put him anywhere and he's going to do amazingly is an amazing development. 1.3 WAR leads hitters in WAR right now.
Wins above replacement.
Yeah, wins above replacement. If you put the average MLB player there, how many more wins would this person get? And a 953 OPS, which is on base plus slugging. I'm not getting into this. If you watch baseball, you know these numbers. 953 is very, very good. 700 is average. So anything above is really good, and 953 is really, really good. And so Schneemann popping off and playing multiple positions, which is hard to do because of the inconsistency.
Yeah, you getting baseball nerdy. I mean, I wasn't fully, it's only April. I haven't ramped that part of the brain up yet. No, I do. Hosey, hey, we said it would turn around. So that does not surprise me. I mean, Messick, the only problem for that kid, as you said, the poor kid can't get run support. Angel Martinez deserves love because he was one of the players that a lot of people were like, nah, we're out of here on that. Rocchio, clutch as all hell last year. I'm glad to see him starting to kind of play well. And
leads the team in RBIs.
Right. And Schienemann. I mean, the development is real for the Guardians. But
it's like crazy that we got a new hitting coach and so all of a sudden some players start hitting well.
Which was something that a lot of Guardians fans complained about last year.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. But there are some negatives. I'm going to leave the first one for last because I think that's a deeper conversation. Stephen Kwan, 220, struggling. Has been struggling kind of back half of last year and into this year. I think he'll turn it around. I truly think he'll get back to average. But
can I ask you a question about him?
Absolutely.
How much of this do we put on the change in position, the moving around in the line, all of the things, all of the extras that take away from I do this every day, which a lot of baseball players rely on?
No, you're right. Listen, changing position, his contract's coming up, so that's probably taking some toll and on his mind a lot. And just listen, not every player is going to have a 300 hitting year every year. Sometimes you just have off stretches. And so Stephen Kwan has the intangibles to bounce back from this and get back on track. I'm sure he'll be fine. Maybe it takes him dropping out of the the leadoff spot and getting a less high pressure situations and just getting back to form. I think he'll be fine. Same with Slade Ciccone. Listen, the kid was dominant last year. He's getting figured out a little bit beginning. You make some adjustments. You in tune. You figure it out. You're at the back end of the rotation. You're not going to be playing in high pressure situations. I think he's going to be okay. Give him some more time. And then we get to Bo Naylor.
I tried. And when he was hitting in the Classic, I was hyping him. When he got a couple hits early on, I was hyping him.
This is bad. This is like Austin Hedges level bad of previous years, and he doesn't have the locker room plus to keep him in here. A negative 0.5 WAR at this early in the season is really bad. And the issue for him is that he has a player behind him, one in Austin Hedges, that is batting better than him and calls a much better game than him behind the plate. And also, there's another guy in AAA that has a 1.3 OPS and is batting 340. He's kind of the odd man out right now. You have a guy who can call a great game and can hit for average sometimes, and you have a guy destroying the baseball in AAA. Is it time to have a serious discussion about what to do with Bo Naylor?
Now, if you just watch sports, I don't blame you, and you go, well, yeah, of course. Take the guy who is playing better, even if he's young, and maybe bring him up and allow him to have some experience. Then you have to remember that this is baseball, and baseball doesn't work like that. Number one, contracts and all of those things,
service
time and all of that. The other problem is Bo Naylor is 26 years old. For catchers, that's young. Because I know it's a wearing position, but catchers very often play later into their career. The mind of a catcher is what gets them there. The hitting as well and the catching, but catcher is also a position like quarterback. Once it's given to you, the team kind of rides and falls with you, and they'll kind of let it almost go down with the ship before you'll change the catcher out. Now, I know he's always, since he's come up, platooned back and forth with Austin Hedges minus 1 year, and then he platooned anyways. So clearly, there's been a hesitancy to just hand the team and the reins over to Bo Naylor, which in itself is strange because of what I just talked about in that position. Yes. Because the reason Austin Hedges is on this team, take the locker room out, is because he is one of the best game callers in Major League Baseball. He won a championship with Texas, right? Texas?
Yes.
Because he was given a lot of credit for that and his help. And we brought him back. The pitching staff is better with him.
Yes.
So Bo Naylor has neither now. If Bo Naylor was out here hitting 125 with a negative WAR, but was calling just the best games possible and was a hell of a defensive catcher, we'd be in here going, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes catchers don't hit. It happens. But when you're not hitting and you're the second best game caller and catcher on my team, yeah, I might have to see what this kid's got going on. The problem is you can't have 3 catchers all with 2 of them trying to figure it out.
No, you're absolutely right. I just wanted to kind of make a note of this. Austin Hedges, at this point in the season last year, had not played the amount of games he's played this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is potentially also another sign that this team is more than okay with kind of letting Austin Hedges get more at bats, and potentially, if they were to bring up another rookie, let him ease into that position.
I mean, it's looking that way. And like I said, the thing for this team has been youth. The problem is the veterans are locked in. Jose is Jose. Stephen Kwan, even with a little bit of the struggle, he's going to be there. The rest of these kids are vying for these positions. Everybody kind of looked over at Bo Naylor as the in-between. Not one of the young kids, but not one of the for sure veterans. And that limbo allowed him to be ignored for a while. And now there's kind of a spotlight. And if you're the Guardians, you could look down and go, well, I've already got 6 other positions that these kids are fighting it out for. Why not?
We'll see.
All right. You got anything else?
For
the Guardians.
Yeah, for the Guardians, not optimistic, but not pessimistic. I think this team needs another month to let me truly feel how I feel about this team.
The only problem I have with that is I'm a bit more pessimistic. I have a very, very bad feeling that in a month, not that that's the only time we'll talk about them, but we'll talk about that later. In a month, we might be looking at the same type of record, 500, or somewhat below 500. I'm not very optimistic that we're going to come into the next month and be like, Guardians are on fire. Be ready to clip it. Guardian, and that'll be funnier in the clip. Be ready to clip it. But I don't think this team is just going to catch fire all of a sudden and start running through the major leagues.
I will say, I saw a tweet on this. Like last year, Cleveland also has one of the easiest back halves of the schedule again this year,
which helped us last year. We'll hope we can get it to a point where we need it to help. Well, hopefully we don't need it, but we'll see. All right. You got anything? Now, do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. We'll roll out on the Guardians. All right. One last very quick commercial break because it is important to not just me, but to my brother and us at the Straub Bros Sports Show. And it fits in very much with what we do here at the Rapids as well, community, charities, and things like that. So shout out to our guys and gals up in Michigan. Let's take a listen and hear a word from Ani's Army.
Today I want to talk to you about Ani's Army Foundation, started by Mark and Lynn Meyer to honor their daughter Annika. Ani's Army Foundation was formed to raise money for the research of medulloblastoma tumors and other pediatric cancers, while making a positive impact on the community and helping those families in need. Here on the website, anisarmy.org, you can follow Ani's story, a story of strength and the love that her family has with her and she has with them as she fights this battle. Here on the website, if you can, please donate via Venmo, credit card, PayPal, cash, or check. Any donation is loved and any donation is appreciated. Thank you.
And shout out to Mark and to Lynn and to Ani as well. Another update, they helped another family as well. I was trying to find the post, but I can't scramble through to try to find it right now. But an amazing foundation. And like I said, not local to us, but means a lot. I've told the story before. The Iowa football team, obviously, they do the wave at the end of the first quarter to the pediatric hospital. During that, or I'm sorry, and shout out to my guy Sterling. I knew he would love that. During the Rutgers Iowa game, Rutgers did a drone wave in the direction of where the stadium would be. I happened to be on Instagram rolling through reels, saw the video, popped into the comments to just leave a comment, and Mark, Ani's father, had left a comment talking about how much those kind of gestures meant to him, and he told the story, and he told a bit of Ani's story, dude, it grabbed me, and I jumped in the comments and told Mark that I had a little podcast and that I would love to be able to share her story and get anything out. He added me. We started messaging back and forth. Obviously, I've worn it on the show, my Ani's Army t-shirt. Shout out to Mark for sending me that. We got the hoodies. So I have an Ani's Army hoodie as well. And we linked, we've stayed in touch, and I need to reach out to Mark again, because it's been a little while since I have reached out to them. But yeah, sometimes you just find things that grab you. And I've said it from the get-go when we first started this show, when we did stuff for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, which I'm bringing back. I have to get with Paul on that. And Sterling, I will send you the link. I'm not sure how many. He runs the t-shirts and at certain times and not, but I'll send you the link no matter what. But when we did the stuff for Schmoopy Sweets and Treats, when we did the stuff for my guy Austin and the t-shirts, I told everybody that I will take this little thing that we have built and I will absolutely help out and give love and word to anyone possible and everyone possible. So this is my favorite one, period. End of story. That's no love. That's no disrespect to anybody else. So to get this one out there and to just, hey, if anybody ever comes across it and decides to donate, you have nothing but love from the Straub Sports Show. And I got you, Sterling. With well that said. Thank you very much, brother. All right. With that being said, I will turn the steering wheel back over to you. It is time to finish up the Straub Sports Show, as we always do, with some footy.
Yes, and thank God we talked about my team last week, so I don't got to talk about them this week. You're
so lucky.
It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. We just get to blow right by. The main two ones last week were the title races, and both of them had the leaders winning 1-0. So nothing changed. Not the goal differential, not the points difference, nothing. So we'll move on from there, because I don't want to blast Arsenal while also praising City for the win. I think both of them struggled but got the result. And so I think that's kind of enough said. Moving on to some other results. 2-2 leads Bournemouth. Bournemouth kind of that hurt their Europe chances, truly. Leeds just accumulating enough points to not be relegated, and I think they're going to be okay. Forest, another close relegation team, a thumping of Sunderland, 5-0. Listen, if there were any relegation kind of shouts from this team, I think they kind of been silenced here. 5-0 is a great result for them, and also shows how just kind of far Sunderland has kind of dipped in form since the beginning of the season.
And hey, listen, that is a Sunderland team that we at the beginning and even into the halfway point of this campaign said, hey, is it possible for them to really finish in the higher top half of the table? And man, how the mighty has fallen. Nate has already put you.
We'll be nice.
Oos has already put you on warning to be nice. And Mama, never late. I apologize in advance if you run it back and you hear one of the words that I use, and also the shout out that we gave. Much love over on our side of that one. All right, keep it rolling.
Yes, Fulham with a win. Villa with a huge loss to Fulham, 1-0. As we can see with further results, helps Ken kind of push that lead further out. So an interesting one there. Liverpool 3-1 wins over Palace. Liverpool a good win. It just Palace not nearly the sturdy, strong team they were at the beginning of the year.
We said once, not just the losses in the preseason, but the losses in January, it was just going to take too much of a toll on this Palace team.
And the coach is also out the door at the end of this year too, so his heart's probably not in it either. But safe, not a relegation scare, so gonna be okay. West Ham with a 2-1 win over Everton. I'm not going to touch on Everton as much because, one, yes, it does hurt their Europe chances, but two, you came up a team that is desperate to stay afloat. And two, what a massive win for this team. Spurs, we see this here with the 1-0 win over Wolves, which could get them back on track and can build some momentum here. But what a huge win for West Ham to beat a really good Everton team right now, playing super, super well, and get those really needed 3 points to stay above the zone.
3 points are mandatory for everybody in that little zone. I mean, Forest took care of business. All three teams took care of business. Forest took care of business. West Ham took care of business. So did Spurs. And first of all, and I'm going to slightly give you a little backhand Oos on your team. Everton finishing mid-table is a good season for what Everton has had going on over the last couple of seasons.
Correct.
Getting into Europe would have been a great season. West Ham going down is the worst, ultimate, biggest disaster for the club. That level of desperation is going to beat out, hey, we're already having a good season, let's make it even better. That's not how that works. Okay, especially when you start to get late in the season where the spots are a little bit more solidified higher up.
And that's exactly why I gush so much about promotion relegation, because, right, you look at the NFL, you look at MLB, you look at NBA, and halfway through the season, if this team sees that they don't got it, it's all right, we're chalking it up. Yep. We're going to, make sure our players don't get hurt. We're going to try to get a good draft pick. You can't do that in the Premier League. And that's why you see some of these teams that have not been great and not played well for most of the year play with such freedom and openness, because they know if we don't give it everything we have, there's a chance that we can't play in this league next year. And so that's why you get results like this, where Everton goes, yes, we want Europe, but we're going to play exactly the way we've been playing. We're not going to play. West Ham is playing with if we don't win, this could be the worst thing that's happened to this club in 20 plus years.
Wolves isn't getting the number 1 draft pick.
No, Wolves is going down.
They're losing hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay, this isn't built the same. I mean, it's worth to point out the last 10 to 15 minutes of both the West Ham, Everton, and Spurs Wolves game was some of the most electric double box television that you could ever have in your life, as Everton are tied with West Ham 1-1, and Everton scores that goal. Then Spurs scores to go up 1-0 over Wolves, putting West Ham back into relegation and pulling Spurs out. And then a couple minutes later, West Ham scores the winner. Both teams win, but West Ham stays out of that dreaded relegation zone. I mean, as we said, yes, what's going on at the top is going to be great. What's going down when these teams are trying to save their clubs from literal hundreds of millions of dollars and not playing in the league anymore, That is, you can argue it's better because it's life or death for these fans.
And it's only going to get better as the season concludes because Spurs played away. Obviously, West Ham played at home, and the scenes were amazing.
Oh.
When both these teams are playing their final home game, it's electric. I watch those games more intently than I watch the championship ones.
100%.
All right. Talked about the Spurs result. Ken, you are the final result on the board. 2-1 wins over Brentford. A good win for you getting back on track. You obviously got some help around you. How are we feeling after said win? On another Monday game, by the way. I don't know why they keep putting you on Monday games.
You just ruined my mood. I hated it so much. I had to rewatch the game. I completely forgot it was. I'm at work. I'm trying to work. Okay? I'm sorry. I have a job too. I gotta pay the bills. So completely forgot. Got home. Was like, oh yeah, crap. United was on. Ran it back. Hey. Getting results and getting 3 points is amazing.
Yes.
Getting 3 points and then the team around you needing to losing is just electric. All right. We're on fire
Fantastic.
over here in Manchester, Cleveland. I mean, Champions League all but secured. Season saved from complete derailment. The goal scorers scoring goals. I mean, yes, this team has work to do in the offseason, but we are sprinting to the finish line. We are not dragging ourselves to the finish line like Aston Villa, like Sunderland. And love you too.
Yeah.
Thanks for chatting.
And like Mason Mount said, you're going to win the Prem next year, so you got that to look forward to.
Shut up. And you know what? Because we have viewers.
If anyone would have said that on your team, I would have made the same joke. I promise.
No, you wouldn't have said it. You wouldn't even have brought the joke up if it wasn't Mason.
I would have. Because Ken, listen to me. I love you. I want your team to be successful. You ain't winning in Prem next year, man. I'm sorry. It's not. Arsenal may bottle it, but they're not going to bottle it to you.
First of all, that's this year. Second of all, hold on a second.
We'll do it again.
Hold on a second. This team is sitting in third. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They are chasing an aging City team where we don't know what we're getting out of Pep every year now, if he's actually going to be around. And an Arsenal team that I would not trust to fill up an ice cube tray. Okay? A couple guys to help out the defense and a couple reserves to help out the offense, potentially maybe another striker. And you think with the Cowboys, I'll do the Cowboys talk with it, but we're back. We're coming for the Prem next year.
Hey, Ken, who's your manager going to be next year?
I don't know yet.
Moving on. Little look at the table as we move on.
At the wheel. Carrick's at the wheel. Carrick's at the. It was much better when it was Ali, but whatever. It's just a better song.
We have 4 games left, actually, for City and for Palace. As you can see with the Astros, they have 5 games left. But for the rest, we have 4 games left in this electric season. Arsenal still gripping with all of their might. They're white-knuckling this lead right now as City could tie them on points and potentially overtake them in goal differential with their double game week coming 2 weeks from now, not upcoming. United taking sole possession of third place there, followed by Liverpool and Villa now falling to 5th. Brighton now controls your Europa League spot, and Bournemouth hold your Conference League spot with Chelsea and Brentford and Fulham all tied right below them. Lot to play for there. We'll talk about my team when we get back into there. Moving on after that, obviously we have.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say we have Nate's Everton at 11th, and Dad's Newcastle at 14th. And then honestly, we can add Leeds and Forest into this relegation talk, but truly I think it's West Ham and Tottenham, and those are your 2 there.
Funny karma if Liverpool were to jump me for 3rd. But as long as we're in the Champions League, you will hear no complaints out of me. And then I am going to ask you these same two questions every week from this point forward, and I asked them last week. The first question is, are Arsenal going to bottle this? And the
Yes.
other question is, Spurs or West Ham, who goes down? Do you still feel the same about your answer?
Did I say Tottenham was going to keep up or go down? I don't remember what I said last week.
That's not my job.
It is your job. I think, one, it solely depends on how each team looks this week after the win. But if you were to put me on the spot right now, I'd say Tottenham with the win has enough momentum to stay up. I think they have enough talent over West Ham to get the result they need now that they got back on track with the win. So I think West Ham goes down.
Ooh. Spurs is the more talented team. West Ham, for me, has been the more consistent team. Spurs is a roller coaster.
Agreed.
West Ham has been pretty consistent. The problem is it was consistently kind of bad for a while, and now they've had a consistent gradual up. I think that can stay. I'm not sure if the Spurs roller coaster is sustained. The reason it's not sustainable is because the minute they can't have a dip now.
Yeah.
And as West Ham really hasn't had one, Spurs has still had them throughout this last little bit of relegation. And now, with only a couple games left, that dip could be it.
You're absolutely right. And let's talk about the games of
You didn't
this
answer
week.
the other question, but that's okay.
I said Arsenal's going to bottle it. I said it before you even got the question out. And then
Go ahead.
that was obvious. We got 4 games, and those are the ones that really matter here. West Ham travel to Brentford. That's going to be a tough one. This Brentford team at times looks really, really good. And then Spurs travels to Villa, which is the really important one. Villa has looked bad lately.
Right. Flat out.
And so this Spurs team can capitalize and get some points here. You need to stay up. You need to continue to play well. Because this Villa's team is beatable. It's not like you're playing City or Arsenal where it's like, chalk it up as maybe a draw and we're going to celebrate. You could win this. And you could potentially get a favorable result in the West Ham-Brentford game. So big matchups there. And then we continue our title race. Arsenal. Oh, go on.
There is a chance, not there is a chance, but the thing that would be the issue here is the same thing we talked about with the Everton West Ham game. Villa,
yeah,
for the most part, locked into the Champions League. Spurs desperate. Not the same level of desperation on both sides going into that game. That always can make it dangerous. Go ahead.
Same with Brentford, honestly. I would say same with Brentford. Brentford's in that, great, good season, better. West Ham, hungry to stay up. So, yeah, very exciting games there. Then we shift our focus to the title race. Arsenal hosts Fulham. This Fulham team, at times, looks not bad. They look like they can beat some teams. And so that'll be an interesting one there. However, Arsenal at home, we did talk about it. Tyler Adams von Bournemouth said this fan base kind of creates nerves for this Arsenal team. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Arsenal team plays, especially 1-1 draw midweek to Atletico Madrid. Focus was elsewhere. They're upset about a penalty, whatever. That was a garbage game regardless. And then only a 1-0 win at the weekend against Newcastle. So a lot of emotions coming from this Arsenal team. Can they, well, honestly, not Arteta, can the team itself push down the nerves and get a result here? And
there's some lemon booty. Yeah.
And then City travel to, not Goodison Park. I never remember what the place is called now. They travel to Everton in a game that City should win. This Everton team, decent defensively, but the attack kind of is lackluster, and City can kind of just hold on to this game and get a good result out of this. But we'll see. Like I said, only a 1-0 win last week, so we'll see there. Ken, what do you got? Go on.
What do I got on this top half?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's where I was going to go anyways.
Beautiful.
The scary part for me is if you took out all of the extras that we've been talking about, and I just put this on paper, I would say, oh yeah, easily Arsenal win, Manchester City win. I have 1,000% more confidence that Manchester City will go out and get a result than I do Arsenal. And Arsenal's at home. And that might be worse for them, as you were talking about. They no longer know how to really, really win the game. They are playing so tight. That's a 2 or 3-0 win against Newcastle earlier in the year. And earlier in the campaign, earlier in the season, whichever phrase you want to use. Campaign's the technical one we should be using, but whatever. Now, I don't know. And I will say this. I don't know kickoff times for these games, but that's irrelevant. If
it goes in order.
For some reason, or in some way, Fulham were to take a 1-0 lead, you could put my game on, in which I am playing unarguably my biggest rival, and I would absolutely find a way to turn on that Arsenal game because I would need to hear that building and I would need to hear that stadium and watch those players start to really realize this thing could crumble away.
Oh yeah, Fulham goes up 1-0. You could hear a pin drop in that stadium, and that's going to be the interesting one. All right, remaining games. Burnley go to Leeds in a game that I don't think anyone cares about. Same with Sunderland at Wolves. Dad's hosting Brighton. That should be honestly a fun game. If I'm being honest, I think a lot of goals are going to be scored in that one. So if you got nothing better to do, I can't say that. I think City's. Yeah, explain your thought process here because I think Everton's on a dip of form. They've been playing well. They're in a dip of form, and City's hungry. City is hungry. So I'm curious your thoughts on that. Bournemouth host Palace in a game that I think Bournemouth needs to win to keep their Europe hopes alive. I'm going to skip yours real quick because yours is the better game. Chelsea host Forest in a game that, Forest scored 5. I don't care. You got rid of the manager that didn't know what he was doing. We won midweek to take us into the FA Cup final. Win this game. No excuses.
An FA Cup trophy is only good if we make the Champions League. No? Doesn't matter?
In this roller coaster of a season, with the awful upper management, with the back half awful on the field management, if we win the FA Cup against Manchester City, there is some football god up there that is a Chelsea fan that is like, guys, listen, I get it. Let's just give him a trophy.
You flipping this in reverse, me last year, or Manchester United picking up a couple trophies that don't mean as much as the ones that they want and not making the Champions League, and for us to be able to flip that this year and put it on you is kind of funny. I do agree though. A trophy is a trophy,
and the FA Cup isn't the Carabao Cup. It's not the League Cup. It's a major trophy in England.
100%. And Tyler backed his point up. Their defense solid if they sit in, which is where City struggles, which is true. I just also don't believe Everton is going to sit in looking for the one. I feel like Everton might play where I know Fulham is going to go at Arsenal, and that is where Arsenal struggles. So I think you could, but he makes it. Listen, the Marzinskis are soccer boys.
That's why you tune in.
They absolutely know their stuff. So that is a good point. All right, go ahead.
And finally, our last match, Ken, it doesn't have any major implications, right? Neither of you are really spoiling anything for each other. It's a game mostly for just jockeying position in the league and in Europe, bar a complete collapse from either of you, which, knock on wood, don't foresee that happening. However, it's a rivalry. And it's one that Carrick will drill into these boys' heads. Obviously, we will see how Liverpool deals with this one. But it's a big one for you. It's one we are back We are dominant. We are better than Liverpool. Ken, how are we feeling about it?
We're always better than Liverpool. Yeah, we'll just get that out there right away. The beauty in this one is it taps into the beauty of sports and the beauty of football. For years now, through money spent on both sides, so no shame, this Liverpool team has been built to be better than Manchester United. Not saying that's their main goal, but just facts. They have been built better than Manchester United. However, throughout that stretch, on many occasions, don't get me wrong, we've taken our L's and we've taken our thumpings, some bad ones, actually. But we've been able to get this team multiple times. And usually when it's done, I will give Ruben Amorim his credit for the FA Cup win.
Yes.
But it tends to usually be a former United player when Ali was there, and now Michael Carrick again, because he did it the first time as well. On paper, in the run of form, Liverpool probably has been on a better run of form late in the recency. If you go over the last couple of weeks, we've had some dips, but very recently we've been okay. This Liverpool team has been playing good, but none of that shit matters because Michael Carrick is a Red Devil OG. He absolutely knows what this rivalry means, and Old Trafford will absolutely be rocking. The country roads will be singing, and we'll be ready to go. Isak will score. Just saying, 2-2 draw. Here's what I know for sure: there are going to be some goals scored in this game. Now, watch it. Neither defense has been elite. We happen to get the better of Virgil van Dijk for some reason because he's overrated as hell and he's not the greatest Premier League defender of all time, as Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic.
And John Terry, anyways.
Sure. And this defense on our end has had its struggles, but I'm not confident, but I believe that this United team at home can do enough to beat this Liverpool team, remain above them in the table. That's a big one as well for me personally. If we win this game, the next time, and I know we may not have a show next week, but you'll get something out of me if we win this game, because now you're starting to put together a way better season than not only was predicted, but even people may realize. I don't care.
I think,
I don't care. I know he's just saying that, but I don't care.
I think it comes down to the three people in that triangle of midfield: Casemiro, Brian Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes. If those three are playing at their top, you should win this game, barring unluckiness. And those are the three you need to play well, and they have been, and that's why you've been winning.
I would argue that you can take Bruno out because for the most part, Bruno has pretty much played to that standard.
Consistently wise. Okay, yes.
But the other two, this team can win when Casemiro or when Brian Mbeumo doesn't have the greatest game, but they struggle. This team doesn't win if Casemiro doesn't play well. And if you're going to put Manuel Ugarte in next to him again, this team is not going to win. So
Kobe Mano looked really good on Monday.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he's looked good. But I'm just saying that's if Casemiro plays well, we can beat Liverpool. If Casemiro and Mbeumo play well, we will run through Liverpool. If not, that's when it starts to become a struggle. And go Wrexham. Shout out
Hey. Talking about Wrexham, this Wrexham team isn't far off. They are currently sitting 6th in the championship, which puts them at the last spot for the playoff. They are tied on points with Hull City, and have a +1 to their goal differential. So if Wrexham can hang on, we get a Wrexham in the championship playoff for the last spot in the Premier League. That's electric.
Is it too soon?
Maybe, but they would be the first team to get promoted 4 straight times and make the Premier League. The only team ever that's done it. So, regardless of if it's too soon or not, it's an amazing story.
Oh, first of all, it would be, I think, arguably one of the greatest stories in football. Number one. I want Wrexham to be a good, sustainable, winning football club. You are able to rise through the lower leagues quickly and be one of those. Yes. You start to go yo-yoing between the championship and the Premier League and the championship and the Premier League. Ask Leicester City how's that going? How is that going? How that is going? Where are they at in the championship, Drew?
They, according to this, are second last, only ahead of Sheffield Wednesday, that is currently at -3 points due to point deductions, which is sad. Love that Leicester team. Well, Sheffield Wednesday sucks. I apologize, but love that Leicester team. Very, very upset they're going to go back down to League One. Never forget 2016. Amazing season by them. Got to be the quickest that a team has been champion and gone to League One. Tyler, go look that up for me.
He's not going to make the end of the show. Officially relegated is Sheffield Wednesday. But yeah, so the yo-yoing is not good. So maybe sticking around in the championship for one more year and being able to reinvest a little bit more. Maybe we'll see. All right, Drew, anything left in the footy?
Real quick, for this week was the semis of Champions League. Athletic Madrid and Arsenal played the most sloppiest, worst anti-football match I've ever seen in my life. We're going to move that out of the way. Even if you do not like soccer like that, you're not obsessed with it like we are, you don't enjoy the 1-0 games, you don't enjoy the, slowing the game down and being, of the dark arts in terms of annoying the other team. Watch the second leg of PSG Bayern. The first leg ended 5-4 and was one of the best attacking games of football I've ever seen in my life. And the defending wasn't bad. The offense was just so good. Luis Enrique, the head coach of PSG, the manager of PSG, has been on record saying we need at least 3 goals to advance in the second leg. And Vincent Kompany, the manager for Bayern, has told Bayern fans, because it's going to be in Munich for the second leg, if you are sick, if you have a hoarse throat, if you are not 100%, sell your ticket to someone who does. Because we need everyone there at their peak so we can be. The second leg is going to be maybe the greatest football match we've ever seen in our lives. Tune into it. It's on Wednesday next week. Please, if you want to watch a football match that's going to put you on to soccer, watch this game.
I mean, 100%. I mean, I'm going to watch it regardless. But yeah, this is good. I think that's censored enough. I'm okay with that. The Borussia Dortmund fan weighing in, obviously not wanting Munich to win. It's going to be great. It's going to be epic. It is everything that we love about this game. Watch it be a 0-0 draw.
Fair. No, but okay. If it does, go watch the first highlights and understand what I'm talking about.
You're clear in my book. All right, that'll wrap up the footy, which wraps up the show. Straubo, final shout outs.
Yes, thank you everyone watching, liking, commenting, however you support the show. Last bit of news came in about 10 minutes ago. The NFL is re-looking at Cleveland for a potential NFL draft destination again. I think they are a little sad or a little bummed because of it was during the COVID year that we did it. And so next couple years, watch out for potentially an announcement of the draft coming back to Cleveland.
Draft comes back to Cleveland. The Straub Sports Show goes live from the draft.
That'd be great.
Done. We'll figure it out. But if the draft comes back to Cleveland, we are going. I will figure out a way to get a media pass, or we'll just take the phone and we'll hold it and we'll do it that way. I could care less. But either way, we're gonna figure it out. And Straub Sports Show is going live from the draft. You deserve it. I rag on your fan base sometimes just because you're funny to make fun of. So listen, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm funny to make fun of too. This is a football city. Okay. I love the Cavaliers parade is one of the largest ever. It was epic. The Guardians parade will double that. The Browns parade will triple that. This is a football city through and through. And yeah, if the Browns are good, the whole city is electric. This city loves it. They deserve another draft. They deserve a real chance at it. That definitely means you're building the new stadium. But we're just gonna move on from that.
No, you're absolutely right. And two, Ray, you will be our cameraman. Done.
And boom, we just figured it out. I don't even need media credentials. We just need phones and Ray, and we're good to go. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Run through your spiel.
Big bro, I did run through my spiel after, and then I announced the draft afterwards. So you are You are a full go on ending the show.
You can't bring up more. You can't bring up more. You can't bring up more sports topics. You derail me out of the outro, and it messes me up. All right. We appreciate all of the love today. A lot of my Rapids guys tapped in. I appreciate the hell out of all of you guys. I will see you guys in our meetings, but then I will see you guys Saturday at practice. Absolutely. Clip it because we love it. Thank you for the love and support, all the likes, all the shares, especially my guy Daniel, who gets us out everywhere and everywhere. To our new viewers who tapped in with us as well, we absolutely appreciate you. That'll do it for us here on the Straub Sports Show. We've got some news due to this guy having a extremely busy schedule, taking some trips, doing some stuff behind the scenes, and my busy rapid schedule. This may be the last time that you see us for a couple weeks. I'm about to be, I'm already dove headfirst into the rapid stuff. This guy's going to do the stuff that is the reason he's not my broadcaster this year. So when we see you again, we will absolutely come back blazing. But if it is a little while before you tap in again with us on the Straub Sports Show, enjoy the sports, enjoy your time, enjoy your family, enjoy your loved ones. And please, 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 especially if I don't see you in for a while, remember to always love yours. We'll see you in a little while.
Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Straub, two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Sports Show. This is the Straub Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. Two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Sports Show. This is the Straub Sports Show. Straub Show.